further south and east, and that's where we'll also have some of the highest temperatures, 25 degrees in London, but feeling not quite as humid as it does today. And then looking at Wednesday and Thursday, well, with those generally west to northwesterly winds, temperatures below par. Now in Glasgow we should be up to around 19 degrees at this time of the year, and it'll still be a little on the cool side across much of England and Wales, although 23 in London for Wednesday. That's about right for the time of year, but there will be one or two showers around as well to take us through Wednesday and Thursday as well. So a relatively quiet spell of weather, if you like, but watch out, there will be a few showers around for the next few days. Rita.
OK, Chris, thank you. Now, a reminder of our top story this lunchtime. David Cameron sets out a 5-year strategy to tackle homegrown Islamist terrorism. He said there's been a failure of integration in the country. Well, that's all from us. Now on BBC One, it's time for the news where you are. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
And now the news for the East Midlands. I'm Emily Anderson. A notorious bottleneck that's caused decades of misery for drivers is no more after the official opening of the new A453 dual carriageway. The road links Nottingham with the M1 and East Midlands Airport. It's been renamed Remembrance Way to honour fallen armed service personnel in Afghanistan. Well, Mike O'Sullivan is there now. Mike, it's a poignant name, isn't it, for a long-awaited road improvement?
That's right, Emily, very poignant, and people who campaigned for the road name were here today for the naming ceremony. But businesses also welcoming this long-awaited new road. Boots has its distribution and logistics centre just up the road in Nottingham. They say it'll be a boost for them and for commuters too. It's a far cry from the bad old days. The A453 used to look like this. 8 miles of clogged single-track road linking Nottingham with the M1 and East Midlands Airport. Now it's been turned into a free-flowing dual carriageway at a cost of £169 million. Today it was named Remembrance Way to honour the number of armed services personnel who lost their lives in Afghanistan.
It's an incredibly important link for Nottingham, but it's an incredibly important link for the whole of the East Midlands. I think it will make traffic flows better. The
suggestion for the road name came from a former army officer and the family of Warrant Officer Sean Upton, killed in Afghanistan in 2009.
Over this moon, over the moon with it. You know, I can't believe it's happened.
I really did nothing but just put 453 and 453 together, you know, and it just rolled from there.
Construction work started in January 2013. Around 30,000 vehicles use the A453 each day, and there'd been calls to improve the road for decades. Before all this was done, Nottinghamshire County Council said this part of the A453 was the second most congested road in the national network, only beaten by a section of the M25. The new link should boost economic growth by £540 million, it's claimed. Boat building businesses at Red Hill Marina just off the A453 say they'll benefit.
We've had it in the past where we've been waiting for deliveries of steel in particular, and they've been stuck on the A453, and we've got here the next day and they've been asleep in the cab the next day.
Although one business owner says she'll be continuing to get to work along the Trent by canoe.
I feel safer. I don't know now the road's improved, but it's certainly a better view.
Around £20 million towards the cost of building the road came from Nottinghamshire County Council.
It's the end of a long battle to get the road as it is. It's taken a lot of hard work, speaking to several different ministers.
2.5 years in the making, the road ahead now seems clearer on the A453. Well, a new era then for businesses and commuters and perhaps people just trying to get to the airport. I'm joined now by Robin Jackson from Highways England. Good afternoon, Robin.
Good afternoon.
Just tell us about these signs, please. Where will people be able to see them? I think that's important for them. They'll want to know.
Absolutely. We will be placing signs at either end of the new scheme, one just before Farnborough Road Junction and one just before M1 Junction 24. So as people come onto the scheme, they'll have a clear indication of the naming.
And the cost of this, £169 million it's turned out at. You said originally, or on your website, about 150 million. Why the big discrepancy?
Well, normally for projects of this nature, we work on a range of costs, and the cost range for this project was at an upper band of 180 million, so we are delivered within that cost ratio.
Okay, but what about the facts and figures, some of the engineering work that's gone in this?
Yes, it's a mammoth scheme. We've built 10 new bridges. We've moved 1.6 million tonnes of earth, over 700,000 tonnes of tarmac laid, 25 miles of new drainage and 130,000 of trees to be planted.
And just briefly, building a new road, does it create more road pollution?
For this scheme, no, because what we are doing is reducing the amount of standing traffic in Clifton, which overall has a net improvement in air quality on this scheme.
OK, Robin Jackson from Highways England, thank you very much. Well, Ken Clarke, the Rushcliffe MP, told me here today he made a speech in the Commons back in 1971 calling for the dualling of the A453. Today, he was here to see it.
OK, Mike, thanks very much. The Derby-based aero engine maker Rolls-Royce has won 2 contracts worth a total of almost £1.5 billion. It comes only days after the company said its profits for this year would be down. It'll supply and then service Trent 700 engines for the national airline of Saudi Arabia. They'll power a 20-strong fleet of Airbus A330 aircraft. Earlier this month, Rolls-Royce issued its 3rd profits warning in just over a year. It's blaming lower oil prices and poor demand for some of its engines. A man received hospital treatment after his ear was bitten during what police say was an unprovoked attack at a Nottingham music festival. The man was watching the group The Specials in front of the main stage at Splendour in Woollerton Park on Saturday evening. Police want to speak to anyone who saw what happened. The police complaints watchdog will investigate the level of force used by Derbyshire officers after a man's finger was severed while he was being detained. The Independent Police Complaints Commission says it's looking at the circumstances surrounding police contact with the man, who's 43 years old. The incident happened on June the 6th near Chesterfield. A family from Loughborough are warning holidaymakers of the potential dangers of extreme sports abroad. Varsha Mai Soraya died in a skydiving accident in Mexico in May. Her body's never been found. The skydiving company she booked with says a freak set of circumstances led to her death. Sheetal Palmer reports.
Skydiving in Mexico was a dream come true for Varsha Maysoria, but this is how it ended. This mobile phone footage was taken seconds after the plane crashed, with Varsha and her skydiving instructor still attached to the fuselage. Varsha was on holiday in Puerto Vallarta on the west coast of Mexico in May. She was an experienced traveller, having worked for the Foreign and Commonwealth Office for 15 years. But memories of her is all her family have left.
We needed to find out what happened. We needed to kind of try and look into the possibility and, the hope that our sister could still be alive, and try and do everything in our power through any means to bring Varsha home.
Varsha's family know it's unlikely her body will ever be recovered, and they want to warn other British holidaymakers of the risks they could face abroad.
It is better, safer and potentially more secure to go through an approved holiday tourist operator.
I asked the Mexican embassy about the family's call for better regulation to protect holidaymakers. They didn't respond to that question. However, they did say the Mexican authorities did everything they could to recover Varsha Maysoria's body. The family are also concerned about the training the instructor had received prior to the jump.
The instructor, who was qualified, she had 500 jumps. She had never jumped off that type of plane with my sister. And had my sister known that fact, we're 100% sure she wouldn't have gone ahead with the jump itself.
The company claim this wouldn't have made a difference and that a freak set of circumstances led to the crash. But Varsha's family say their loss should serve as a warning to other travellers about the potential dangers of extreme sports abroad. Sheetal Palmer, BBC East Midlands Today.
The Transport Secretary Patrick McLaughlin will be quizzed by MPs this afternoon over the government's decision to pause the electrification programme for the Midland Main Line. The route to London through the East Midlands was due to be electrified as part of a 5-year plan announced in 2013. But rising costs mean the work has been put on hold. The government said it can be improved in other ways in the short term. A Derbyshire roundabout's been covered in artificial turf instead of grass. It's part of a project to improve the area outside Long Eaton railway station. Extra plants and seating are also being added. Eros Borough Council says it's cost around £22,000, but it's hoping the plastic grass will make the station approach more appealing all year round. Actors from the East Midlands are among those being awarded honorary degrees by our region's universities. Vicky McClure will be named an Honorary Doctor of Arts by Nottingham Trent University. She won a BAFTA for her role in This Is England, directed by Shane Meadows, who's received the same honorary degree. Meanwhile, Una Stubbs has also been made an Honorary Doctor of Arts by De Montfort University in Leicester. Time for a look at the weather now, and it's a bit of a mixed bag today, isn't it, Mel?
Yes, it certainly has been. We began the day on a bit of a damp and drizzly note. Then we saw some good spells of sunshine across the region, but gradually it has been a deteriorating picture as we've started to see the next weather front make inroads, so it is going to be cloudy and quite drizzly through much of the afternoon. You can see how this weather front's been marching its way from the southwest up towards the northeast. We did hang on, though, to those bright skies for a good length of time through the morning, but it is grey through the afternoon and a little bit drizzly from time to time. It's not all doom and gloom, though. I think some areas will start to see a bit of brightness emerging before the afternoon is done, possibly through parts of Leicestershire and Rutland, and it's there that we'll see the best of the temperatures. 23 Celsius the maximum, that's 73 Fahrenheit. It does feel quite humid, even underneath all the cloud. So for most of us, a fine end to the day, with us all getting to see some sunshine before the day is done. A few showers perhaps just skimming parts of South Leicestershire initially, but then it dries up with lengthy clear spells overnight. We'll just start to see a bit of cloud creep in from the west as we approach dawn on Tuesday morning, and the breeze will start to pick up as well. Overnight lows then of around 14 Celsius. So a bit of a fresher feel to Tuesday, and there'll be more of a breeze as well. A good deal of dry weather on the cards through Tuesday. Some cloud at times, but that should lift and break to give us a few brighter spells from time to time. Just the risk of 1 or 2 showers, and still temperatures not doing too badly. We're looking at highs of around 21 Celsius, that's 70 Fahrenheit. It's a very similar story on Wednesday as well. A lot of dry weather, some breaks in that cloud from time to time, but also the risk of 1 or 2 showers. And it's a very similar story for much of this week. It's quite quiet weather-wise, with temperatures just a bit below average.
Coming up on East Midlands today, our first chance to hear in depth from the new Leicester City manager, Claudio Ranieri. He's being introduced to the press in just a few minutes' time, and we're there to hear what he has to say. A full report later on. Well, that's it for now. East Midlands Today is back at the later time, around 7:30 tonight. That's because of the golf coverage on BBC One, so make sure you join Geeta and Morris then if you can. But from all of the lunchtime team, good afternoon.
Patients are living longer.
I'm old, aren't I?
And doctors are getting busier.
So you're short-staffed and 36 patients.
We need more GPs.
Is this terminal?
The Real Peak Practice, Thursday at 7 on BBC One.
BBC One's heading to St Andrews next for the final round of the Open Golf. So if you're looking for doctors, that's on BBC Two now.
Good morning.